Countless cold-blooded animals thrived in hot tropical forests from mid to late Paleocene. The most prominent was the giant snake Titanoboa, classified as Titanoboa cerrejonensis. Also known as the giant boa from Cerrejón, this enormous semi-aquatic snake was unlike any other. 60 million years ago, giant predators dominated the vast swamp forests of South America. Titanoboa was a giant snake, longer than a bus. It slithered through vast rivers and muddy lowlands in northern Colombia, dominating primeval forests until extinction due to Earth's extreme impacts. But what if Titanoboa, the largest snake ever discovered, were still alive today?
This video will discuss some interesting hypotheses related to that.
In the warm Amazon forests, one of the heaviest, longest snakes in South America and the world exists.
Green anacondas are aquatic creatures, large enough to swallow an adult deer, a sheep, or even South America's largest cat, the jaguar.
With professional camouflage, they hide in shallow rivers and flooded grasslands, ambushing prey and suffocating victims with their powerful muscular bodies.
Nearly 9 meters long, this giant reptile is a terrifying nightmare.
But a larger monster once lived and hunted in these very swamp forests. In the Paleocene epoch, starting 66 million years ago, the king of the primitive world was not the Tyrannosaurus rex,
Or Spinosaurus, but a giant, most humid snake in South America.
Due to abundant CO2, some parts of the world were scorched during the last Cretaceous period. It was the last great time of the dinosaurs. But temperatures rose even higher after the Cretaceous-Paleocene extinction event. At the end of the Cretaceous, a large asteroid likely struck shallow waters along today's Mexican coast. Over hundreds of thousands of years, the impact and its aftermath destroyed most life on Earth. Wildfires raged globally, tsunamis devastated coastlines, and volcanoes erupted giant plumes of smoke, increasing CO2 concentrations in the atmosphere and making the planet even hotter. Under these conditions, tropical South America became a humid greenhouse. Dense forests exploded in the wetlands of Colombia, Venezuela, and Brazil. Nourished by daily rainfall, these forests became flooded for weeks or months, covering gloomy swamps in mud deep enough to swallow a human whole.
In these rich ecosystems, cold-blooded animals like snakes, turtles, and crocodiles could double or triple in size. Cold-blooded animals cannot generate their own heat, relying on the environment to raise a body temperature.
Countless cold-blooded animals thrived in hot tropical forests from mid to late Paleocene. The most prominent was the giant snake Titanoboa, classified as Titanoboa cerrejonensis.
Also known as the giant boa from Cerrejón, this enormous semi-aquatic snake was unlike any other.
Based on 30 specimens and ecological data, biologists believe Titanoboa could be 13 meters long. The longest modern snake, the reticulated python in Indonesia, is about 10 meters long. If Titanoboa were alive today, it would hold the record for the longest snake. Besides its incredible length, Titanoboa weighed up to 1,000 kilograms, or 2,200 pounds. Far surpassing all other snakes, Titanoboa was a combination of boa constrictor and anaconda. Biologists couldn't be sure which of the two species this prehistoric creature resembled more. Titanoboa shared anatomical features with boa constrictors, but behaved more like anaconda. They both spent most of their time submerged in shallow water. While hunting, Titanoboa may have concealed its enormous body in layers of mud and murky water, slowly ambushing prey, clamping its hooked teeth, and suffocating the life out of its victim.
With immense size and strength, Titanoboa could capture and kill larger predators in its ecosystem,
including crocodiles and even other snakes. By the late Paleocene, Titanoboa disappeared from the tropics and northern Colombian lowlands. The exact cause of this species' extinction is unclear. Perhaps sudden climate changes affected them. In the late Paleocene and early Eocene, global average temperatures rapidly increased by about 5 degrees Celsius. It was an event called the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum. This global event caused widespread extinction. Mass migrations occurred, and disruptions happened to both marine and terrestrial ecosystems, including the swamps and rainforests of the South American region. If Titanoboa survived the Paleocene-Eocene event, it would have faced more challenges. About 34 million years ago, the Eocene-Oligocene transition marked the first major global cooling and glaciation. Ice sheets around the poles expanded significantly. Atmospheric CO2 decreased. Temperatures in even the hottest and most humid regions of the world also decreased significantly. These colder conditions threatened large, cold-blooded animals like Titanoboa, lowering body temperature and slowing metabolism. Even if Titanoboa adapted, it could still be defeated by globally dominant mammals. Filling ecological niches once occupied by dinosaurs, mammals dominated the dry grasslands, the Eocene forests, and many other natural areas. But no species could threaten animals more than humans. Humans lived in South America for thousands of years, hunting and killing animals, even those many times our size. In the last ice age, human hunting pushed giant mammals like mastodons and woolly mammoths to extinction. Physically, humans could never compete with a monster as large as Titanoboa. But by hunting in groups and using tools, ancient East Asian humans could be a major threat.
Apex predators can greatly influence the food chain.
Ecological balance would be affected as prey populations shrink.
If Titanoboa were alive today, its presence could affect swamp animal populations like turtles and crocodiles.
Population decline could have unpredictable and irreversible consequences for the local food chain.
Over millions of years, it's impossible to predict how such an apex predator could influence natural evolution.
But it's certain these giant snakes would also affect our lives.
Only a few terrestrial predators like bears or big cats are known to attack humans.
But if Titanoboa appeared, it would certainly be among the most dangerous. Imagine stepping into your backyard, but it's not a common garter snake, but a 13-meter-long monster slithering down from the bushes. Titanoboa is large enough to coil its enormous body around a car. Modern species like anacondas rarely attack humans. But Titanoboa is different. They are much larger and may have developed a taste for primates. Hypothetically, only a few places on Earth could sustain Titanoboa, like southern U.S. forested swamps. This natural area acts as a spillway for the Mississippi River. Over 1 million acres of moist lowlands make up the Atchafalaya Swamp. This is the largest U.S. wetland. Atchafalaya resembles northern Colombia 58 million years ago, making these forests and swamps potentially suitable for all the largest cold-blooded predators. Another potential environment for Titanoboa could be found.
This is the subtropical wetland in southern Florida, known as the Everglades.
Among dense cypress and mangrove forests, over 50 terrestrial reptiles thrive, including snakes, lizards, and crocodiles.
These are all ideal naturous prey for Titanoboa.
Assuming Titanoboa survived to the modern era, it could still live in Colombia's jungles.
Slithering through flooded forests and winding warm rivers. Today, the Amazon rainforest may be drier, cooler, and less forested than millions of years ago.
But it is still a humid and warm tropical region year-round, with average temperatures from 22 to 28 degrees Celsius.
And annual rainfall up to 200 centimeters. The Amazon rainforest is a wonderland, dense with flora and fauna, home to many unclassified creatures. Hypothetically, a boa constrictor could hunt and live deep within these thriving forests. Today's Titanoboa may no longer resemble the monsters of old. Some animals, like the African lungfish, have survived almost unchanged throughout 400 million years of history. But lungfish are the exception, not the rule. Most populations change to cope with ecosystem fluctuations. Over time, the strongest, most resilient creatures will survive and reproduce naturally, passing on their genes,
while weaker creatures will decline and go extinct.
During the mid to late Paleocene, the largest and heaviest Titanoboa species may have died. Unable to cope with global cooling, habitat loss, and other changes in their populations. But the smallest Titanoboa species needed less energy to survive, possibly living past the Paleocene,
Eocene boundary, and passed on their genetic traits to future generations. After millions of years of natural selection, modern Titanoboa relatives may resemble today's boas more than their ancestors.
Millions of years have passed since Titanoboa slithered through South America's rainforests.
The fossils we study are a chilling reminder that the right environment at that time and place have faded into the distant past. But Titanoboa remains the largest and most fearsome snake to ever roam Earth's forests.
Anaconda snakes, or South American water boas, include large species of South American boas.
Four types are recognized: green, yellow, dark-spotted, and Beni anacondas. They are semi-aquatic, hiding in swamps, rivers, and South American forests. Anaconda snakes are mainly found in northern South America, specifically in Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Brazil, northeastern Peru, and northern Bolivia. Anaconda snakes feature prominently in South American myths, sometimes as shapeshifters or water creators. They are also seen as brutal man-eaters, or sacred creatures with healing powers.
Length of the green anaconda remains a subject of debate.
it is very difficult to accurately measure their size. Stretching a captive anaconda is difficult. Not to mention the potential danger to the snake itself. People seeing anacondas in the wild may overestimate their size. A recently fed anaconda appears much larger, exaggerating size estimates. Dead anaconda skin can stretch, making true length hard to determine. Especially for historical specimens, accurate measurement is challenging. They have thick necks and narrow but large heads. All anaconda snakes have nostrils and eyes on top of their heads. This allows them to see above water. They have thick black stripes running from their eyes to their jaws. Anaconda snakes have small, smooth scales. These scales become larger towards the tail end of their body. They have loose and soft skin that can absorb a lot of water. Males have larger patterns than females.
Females are generally larger and longer.
Anaconda snakes exhibit pronounced sexual dimorphism. Females are larger among tetrapods. The color and size of anaconda snakes depend on the species. Patches of green, yellow, brown, and spots help them camouflage. These rivers appear in tropical rainforests of the Amazon and Orinoco basins. Anaconda snakes are clumsy on land, but agile and fast when swimming.
Their eyes and nostrils are on top, allowing them to lie in wait.
Hidden underwater, they ambush their prey.
They hide underwater, waiting for prey to pass or drink.
And constrict prey until it suffocates.
After prey die, it slowly opens its mouth and swallows.
Typically, snakes have a breathing tube right behind their tongue. When swallowing, this tube protrudes, helping them breathe.
After large meals, they may take weeks or months for their next prey.
The prey of South American anaconda snakes is quite diverse.
It includes almost any animal they can overpower,
such as fish, birds, turtles, mammals, and reptiles. Larger South American anaconda snakes can attack deer and tapirs.
South American anaconda snakes live solitary lives until the breeding season.
The mating season usually occurs during the rainy season, from April to May. During this time, male anaconda snakes will actively seek out females. To help males find them, female anaconda snakes produce a pheromone. Up to 12 males may surround one female, attempting to mate.
This forms a slowly moving, writhing mass in the water.
The gestation period for females lasts from 6 to 7 months.
Unlike other snakes, South American anaconda snakes give birth to live young.
Newborn South American anaconda snakes are 70 to 80 centimeters long. They receive no parental care and become prey for other predators. If they survive, they grow quickly, reaching sexual maturity. This usually happens around 3 to 4 years old.